Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people in attendance at home, from parts unknown, here are your hosts, Jason, Turtleneck Hilton, and legendary luchador, Gringo Fantastico. It is now time for Headlocks, and Hijinks.
Welcome to Headlocks, and Hijinks with Jason the Heel Turtleneck and
legendary luchador and host of Gringo Fantastico Disaster Piece Theater. Actually, it's just called Fantastico Disaster Piece Theater on the Trauma Down Network. I am your lucha host who's haunted by a fucking ghost. I am Gringo Fantastico. So there's an intro. I'm a sick luchador. I'm feeling a little crappy today. So if the podcast isn't as long as it usually is, that's probably because I feel like crap.
As long as we get our talks about the Rumble in, I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay, so before we start the Rumble talk, it seems like every week we do this. There we go. I think it was crushing me. Every week we do this so far, like except for the first week, but last week and this week, there's always someone dying before we start our podcast, which is awful.
This is quite the inauspicious start.
Yeah, it's like now we lost Leapin' Lanny Poffo today. Was it today or yesterday?
It was today. It was this morning.
Damn, that's you told me. I didn't know
see
about
a cause or anything.
No, I don't know. I think he's not. He wasn't even 70. He's like in his 60s.
I think they said 68. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Like Lanny Poffo,
I read he was living in.
Where is he?
Yeah, I think I read he was living in Ecuador at the time. So.
That's a little weird.
I think.
Ecuador. Where the hell would you want to? Well, I guess he had his reasons. You know, like I guess Ecuador people like Ecuador, so I can't bitch about it. Yeah, I got to meet Lanny Poffo once. This was before I wasn't on a show with him. This was when I was just a fan, and I got to meet him at this. Remember that really crappy indie show I was telling you about, where the promoter hid himself in the.
Marty Jannetty tried to break down the door.
Yeah, Tommy Rich was trying to kick his ass and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know about that part. I know Marty Jannetty was really angry. But I was on that show that I went to, and Lanny Poffo was there, and he was just such a nice dude. He was just like really, really like open to his fans, and he let people come. You know, he talked people's ears off. Like he's just hanging out with people, like just like he was another wrestling fan. It was great, and he had a lot of energy, and I mean. So Lanny Poffo's career, we'll do a real quick thing into this, but he had wrestled in, I think 9, aside from indie shows, 9 different national promotions.
I saw Big Time Wrestling, NWA, WWF, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was in like Championship Wrestling from Florida or something. Yeah. Just a bunch of stuff. When he came into wrestling, it was during the whole cartoon era of like Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, you know, all the colorful characters like that, and he fit in really well because he was a natural. It just kind of with the poetry and the cartwheels and he was just a natural to fit into that. And then when he put on the Genius moniker, it was even amplified even more, because then he just became a cartoon character, you know. And he was always like, when he was Leaping Lanny Poffo, he was a face, but then when he came as the Genius, he was a heel like the entire time, because no one likes a guy who thinks he's smarter than everybody else, right? So it's pretty easy to hate him. He'd always spout poetry, and I always remember one line from one of his poems, and it was when he Mr. Perfect was feuding with Brutus Beefcake. And he would go out there and he would be like, Mr. Perfect, blah, blah, blah. And then the only line I remember after that, he goes, and Beefcake's double dumb. Like, that was the only thing I ever remembered. I think that was at the Royal Rumble when he said that. Royal Rumble 90, which we discussed on episode 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they had him teaming up with, he was the manager of the Beverly Brothers. Seemed like a fit, which, I never understood. Like, it almost was like they were purposely making him effeminate.
I always thought that was a little odd too.
And I'm pretty sure that he, I don't know, maybe they were just trying to strike a nerve on some people or something, like having him do that. But he was like that in person too, though. Like, so when you met him, so I think he was just an effeminate person, and just in general. And I think they just said, "Do your thing," when they let him in. So yeah. I don't know. All I know is he was a super nice guy. I enjoyed meeting him, and even on that show, he even worked that show, which was cool because I think he wrestled Jim Neidhart on that show. I think was who he wrestled on that. And this was back in like 2008, something like that, 2007, something. But yeah. And so yeah, that's my whole thing about Lanny Poffo.
So. I wished I had time to have done a deep dive on it, unfortunately.
Oh, he did so much stuff with his dad.
Yeah.
Like, he tagged with Angelo Poffo. And people who don't know, and if you don't know this, then I don't know. Lanny Poffo's Macho Man Randy Savage's brother. And their father was Angelo Poffo, who actually had a wrestling promotion. I think he had the Tennessee, maybe, or like Georgia or something, like somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
And like, I think this was prior to like USWA and Smoky Mountain and all that, because it was like in the older territory days. But yeah, so yeah, we could have done a big deep dive into his career because he did so much. Like, even aside from the WWF stuff, he did so much stuff.
And just an idea of what kind of person he was, I read the story where Macho Man wanted him to write the lyrics for Be a Man Hulk. And Lanny just refused, like, no, I know you guys hate each other, but Hulk Hogan picked me out of obscurity and I did main events after that. I can't say anything bad about him. So, like, to his own brother, just, I know you hate him, but I can't.
Yeah, and his I'm glad he got inducted into the Hall. Did he get inducted into the Hall of Fame, or did he induct Savage into the Hall of Fame?
Lanny inducted Savage. I did not see that Lanny himself is in the Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah, he probably will be this year, I'm sure.
As he should.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't like the huge star, but he was definitely he definitely left his mark there, because we all remember, his characters, and so yeah, that sucks. Just want to say, our condolences out to the family of Lanny Poffo, and it sucks. We lost another good one from that era. So
yes, we did.
All right, on to things that aren't sad and sad bastard, depressing, Debbie Downer shit.
Well, on to highs, lows, highs, and then the best cliffhanger since Avengers Infinity War.
Nice. All right, so we start off the Royal Rumble, and first off, we get the SmackDown show from last Friday night, which was it was okay as the go home show for Royal Rumble, but it wasn't anything special. It was just kind of meh. All right, whatever. And then we have the Royal Rumble on Sunday, and it's like you told me that night. It just gave us a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Because we were going to do a dive into the whole King thing, but we can't do that because we have a lot to talk about here.
Right.
So.
Oh, we started with Hardy giving us that speech about desire with, I think, the quote of the night of, "You've got to have ice in your veins or you just might freeze." Like, well, by definition, if you have ice in your veins, you're frozen.
Yeah, I mean, that's called hypothermia, dickhead. So we start
there's in fact a whole school of thought of how to fix that.
Yeah, I think, what the hell? And we'll get into Hardy later.
Oh yes, we will. Oh yes, we will.
So the men's rumble, we start off the event with the actual men's rumble, which was, to me, I thought was weird as hell. But since the main event was what it was, I guess I get it. So, and they, honestly, I think they were probably trying to make the Bellas shut up about.
Yeah.
They were just like, okay, fine, we'll open the show with the men's rumble and we'll put the women's one later in the card. So you guys will just stop, because even though they didn't have a right to bitch, but the women that were on that event had the right to bitch about that whole cage match thing and all that other bullshit. But
Especially
the Bellas,
when you see what
shut
they
up.
didn't cut to give us that.
Right, and it's like the Bellas are not. I don't care. I never
I feel
was a
like
fan
they
of
think they are way more than they are.
Yeah, go back to your damn reality TV show. Shut up. You're making fuck tons of money doing that stupid reality show. You should just be happy about that. Instead, you're gonna try to boost yourself. Maybe that's what they were doing. They're trying to boost themselves up for ratings for their own show. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a dick to them, because whatever. But to me, it just came across as just being stupid. And I was just like, shut up. You weren't even on the show. Like, this doesn't matter to you. So,
okay,
yeah.
did you really want on the show so that you can be in the back playing poker?
Right.
Like, that's all they had the legends do was...
Yeah, because they had Medusa back there, and Lundra Blaze, or whatever you want to call her, was back there. And she was like the only female back there. Was Candice LeRae back there with, like, in the background with Dexter Loomis and some, I don't know, I don't remember, but
if she was, I didn't see her.
Yeah, she's tiny. She's hard to find. She's hard to get. It's hard to pull her out of a crowd. She's always behind somebody. But anyway,
so the men's rumble starts.
Yeah. Okay. So we start off with Gunther
and
as
Sheamus.
number one, and Sheamus. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, this ought to be interesting, and we've seen some
throwback to
altercations.
Clash at the Castle.
Yeah, we've seen some altercations there or whatever, and so that was fun. And God. So do you have the list of the entrants?
I do.
Okay, good, because I don't.
So at number 3, we have my personal hero who's living my best life, The Miz.
Oh yeah, because he gets to, like, make a crap ton of money and go home to Maurice every night.
And he's won every championship there is to win, like twice.
That's what I probably should have said first. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, and so The Miz comes in, and he's just kind of, they're not real big on him anymore, it seems. Like, they just seem like they're just kind of just letting him be, like, kind of a slapstick, like, character that gets, like, beat up all the time.
I think they keep him on. He's definitely got that role of, he's a guy on the payroll. We can send him to any show there is, and he won't make us look stupid.
No, he's really good at making other wrestlers look really good. And a wrestler that can do that is a good worker.
Oh yeah.
That's why Barry Horowitz is considered one of the best workers in the world, because he made everybody look good. Steve Lombardi, the same thing. Steve, the Brooklyn Brawler, same thing. Him, Steve Lombardi. Even you could even go with Iron Mike Sharp if you want to, because he always made people look like $1 million too. Because these guys were all enhancement talent. They're all, or jobbers, as they don't like to be called that. But enhancement.
Even as
talent.
The non-enhancement, Bret Hart was amazing at making everyone around him look great.
Yeah,
like he was responsible for Tom McGee getting a job, and then quickly his second match, they go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, they thought they had gold. With I was getting ready to ask you if you'd watched that documentary
the
about
one on
the lost tape or whatever.
Yes, no, yeah, I saw it.
I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty funny." But yeah, then they realized that, oh, maybe, because they even said that in the documentary, like, oh, maybe our best worker we have isn't Tom McGee. Maybe it's Bret Hart that's making everybody look good. Still took what, like 10 years, or not 10, but maybe 6 years, 6 or 7 years after that.
Like 5 longer than it should have.
Yeah. And the only reason why Bret Hart wasn't champ even back in the days because Vince didn't like the size of him. I don't like that. You need a big guy with muscles. It's good shit. Anywho, back to the Rumble. So we have The Miz, and then who comes in?
Coming in at number 4, we had Kofi Kingston.
Kofi's disappointed me. Not he didn't disappoint me, but the booking of Kofi disappointed me in this Rumble. Because he did a couple of cool things and got some offense. But Kofi is like, you watch the Rumble with Kofi because of the crazy ways he saves himself from being eliminated. Mm-hmm. And I don't know
if this is the second year in a row.
Yeah, and I don't know if he just botched. Like he was supposed to do something and he botched it because of that whole chair
I think it's
spot.
Getting too elaborate. Like once you start to include wheels at the bottom of something, it's way too unpredictable. Stick with stationary stuff or stick with a person on the outside that he can fall on.
Right. Like all they had to do is have whoever he was out there with have his legs up on his back. You know, and then he can figure out, and then he can do like a weird crab walk thingy without his legs on the ground to like pull himself back up on stuff or whatever. But that's why you watch Kofi in the Rumble, because of that cool shit, you know? But what the hell do we know? You know, we just been watching this for our entire lives. All right, who comes in number 5?
As Jim Cornette would say, Johnny Sameface.
Oh, God. Okay. I don't agree with Jim Cornette on Johnny Gargano, because Johnny Gargano is a good worker. And you can
those
see
matches between Johnny and Tommaso Ciampa are some of my absolute favorites to go back and watch.
Whenever I have friends over that don't watch wrestling and I'm talking about something and I'm like, you guys got to see this, I always go back to that one of those NXT matches with him and Ciampa, especially the one where he, like, the ring, you know, the ring's not there and he dumps him off of the, you know, thing. That was so cool. And then like the whole, like, with the brace over his face and stuff like that was really good, man. It was captivating. And I don't think Cornette gives him a proper respect that he deserves.
I think purely it's the lack of over-the-top facials, and Cornette just can't get behind it, Cornette has earned his opinion. I am not saying the man has not earned his opinion.
Yeah, I don't know why he hates him so much. I've never understood it. Okay, so Johnny Sameface is in, and then we get, who do we get after him?
Number 6, we got Xavier Woods.
Okay, so he and Kofi are in there together for a little while.
Yep, this was the part where I started even saying, we're getting a lot of mid-carders in. We're getting a lot of something big is coming.
Yeah, I noticed that too, because no one was getting thrown out. You know, I think everyone was still in at this point, weren't they, except for The Miz?
I think he was still in.
Was he still in? Okay. I know that there was...
Hang on. Gargano sets up Miz for the Sheamus. Nope, I think Miz was eliminated by Sheamus at that time.
Okay.
It's weird because I did the talk to text, so Miz is just MS.
Miss. You were trying to talk about his show. Miz and Miss, or whatever the hell it's called.
By the way, if you're going to watch a reality TV couples WWE thing, that's the one. To heck with the Bellas reality show. That one's actually funny.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see a reality show where it's just Stevie Richards aimlessly walking around doing things, like just going and Stevie Richards walking around visiting other wrestlers. Like he just kind of goes and hangs out and they go out to dinner. You know, like he shows up and they have like a Blue World Order reunion or something like that. Just that, you know, I've always been a big Stevie Richards fan. So, okay. So now we had Xavier Woods.
And that was when they did the
stuff. Yeah.
And they did whatever that wheelbarrow thing was, where they both wind up like smacking each other's asses, one from the bottom, one from the top. And it's just okay.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't even know what they were going for. Like, I looked, I wasn't upset, I wasn't happy, just befuddled is the word I'll choose.
Befuddled is a good word. You don't hear that word enough anymore. Well played.
Number 7, we had Karrion Kross, who I think they're not as high on him as they were. There's no way.
No. Well, he hasn't really. I mean, they let him. So on Friday before the Rumble, he jobbed out to Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm. And then Rey Mysterio wasn't even in this. I think they
played
noticed
his music.
Yeah,
But nothing
I think they noticed. Hey, the real money might be in the father versus son angle rather than this guy who has no connection to the family angry at the father for doing whatever he didn't do for the son.
And did you see?
Which, like, I've got.
God.
Which, like, I've got 3 whiteboards in here. I still couldn't make sense of why he's mad.
I was reading today that Vicky Guerrero is like really pissed off that people keep comparing Dominic to Eddie Guerrero, and it's like
I thought that was the point.
That yeah, it
Like,
was. It's supposed
when
to
Dominic's
piss people
doing
off.
this move, when he does the frog splash, I thought that was the whole shtick.
Unless she's like, purposely like playing into it to piss people off and stuff even more, which I doubt because she's not even. She was in AEW for a while. Is she still even there?
I think she is.
Okay, who knows?
I saw something on Twitter not long ago that just says, "What do you do with Vicky Guerrero?" And I just put on there, you either put her on TV or let her go.
Yeah.
Like, how many people are you paying that just aren't even on television?
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time we saw Lance Archer?
I know, right? And I love the Murder Hawk monster, right?
Yeah.
I love Lance Archer. I've been a fan of his since I first saw him in TNA way back.
Like, back when he was Lance Hoyt and they were the Rock and Rave infection.
Yeah.
The only issue I had was, are you ready to get infected?
Like, I wouldn't be going around at the parties preaching that be a good idea.
Of course, this is the same company that gave Christy Hemme the split-legged fall on the person and called it the fire crotch guillotine.
Oh.
Real thing that really happened.
Was she in on that joke, or was she not happy about that? Because that makes a difference as to whether or not it's. Yes, that makes a difference as to whether or not it's funny. Because if she's in on it, then it's funny.
I know she wasn't in on it when Austin Aries went up in the corner and just put his right in her face.
Oh God, that guy's cringe as fuck.
Yeah.
I never liked him. I always thought he looked like the guy who tries to be in porn, but even like the porn directors are like, nah.
We have standards.
Yeah. Like he and Joey Janela should just go try to do their own thing together because they're both cringe. They should start Cringe Wrestling Federation or some shit. The new CWF.
They could just team up with Rob Black.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, there's another winner. Jesus Christ.
Who again? You just look at and go, I don't know if I trust this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's when they brought him into the into WWE as he was like the champion for a little bit in Live 205 or whatever.
Austin Aries we're talking about here, not Rob Black.
No, not Rob Black. Jesus Christ, no. Austin Aries. And they brought him in. I didn't even like him then. I'm like, man, this guy still looks like the guy that tries to get onto a porno set and they kick him out. Like,
oh, when he was on the announce table and every time they would play a video for him, it was, you're going to bear witness to my package. It's the greatest package you've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll never forget it just because I can't believe that happened more than once.
Oh,
like, God. On television, I can't believe someone didn't go, Austin, come in. No. Don't ever say that again.
So, before we move on to the next number in the Rumble, I gotta say, it was really great to see Pat McAfee back on commentary.
Yeah, and apparently they didn't tell Cole or Graves that he was coming out.
It was awesome.
And, you could see Michael Cole's he lit up.
Probably because he hates fucking Corey Graves. I don't know if he does or not, but that would be a really funny dynamic if he has to go to work every day to do commentary with. Well, Corey Graves isn't on the show with him, is he? Is it Michael Cole and Corey Graves? No, Corey Graves is with that other Irish guy that I don't know. Because he's on Raw, right?
Yeah, the really monotone one who just doesn't get you excited at all.
I don't understand why they don't just hire Mauro Ranallo back and like really kiss his ass, because he was the best commentator they've had since Gorilla Monsoon.
So good.
Like, he was
so
great.
Good.
And I know he had some mental issues, but Jesus Christ, who doesn't? You know what I mean? We're all
Right.
a little fucked up in our own ways. God, I wear a fucking mask for a living. Look at me. I'm like the fucking image of fucked up. Mauro Ranallo would be fine. He'll be fine. But anyway,
And
back to the
especially just
Rumble.
walk up to JBL and go, all right, listen, you're going to leave Morrow alone. We're going to get you a tailor. We're going to get you suits that fit because for some odd reason you can't pull that off.
You know what they need to do to just when JBL's around, if Mauro Ranallo's there, they need to have that they need to have that commentary team be fucking Mauro Ranallo and Joey Styles. And then fucking JBL will not go a goddamn 20 feet near Joey Styles because then Joey Styles will beat his ass again.
Which, like, you got beat up by Joey Styles.
Piss with those fucking New Yorkers, dude. They're fucking mean.
No.
You know what I mean? And I fucking hate G. I've never liked him.
Where I was really lost is the guy who's friends with all of the MMA community. That's the guy you're going to piss off.
Right?
Like, I would just love to see JBL get a phone call and go, hey, man, so it's Ken Shamrock. I hear you've been an ass to my friend.
Yeah, right? Or, hi, this is Hoist Gracie. I'll see you in a little while. Like,
Or even, hey, buddy, this is Alistair Overeem.
Yeah. Dan the B Severn here.
Right.
Want to let you know
there's
that
not many degrees of separation.
They do let me into that building. I'll show up and whoop your ass. Anyway, yeah.
I would think you would want more than 1 degree of separation from an absolute killer.
Right? Oh shit, man.
Oh, so we had Karrion Kross come in, and then we had Chad Gable come in.
Shush, please. Shush, please. I don't
know if I like that or if I'm just forcing myself to like it because I like Gable.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to respect him for his athleticism and what he's done in the Olympics and shit, and so you have to respect him.
And the chaos theory when he hits it on the big guys, it's a thing of beauty.
I think maybe Chad Gable watched Encino Man too many times. I think that's where he got that. Shush! Remember that shit where the main antagonist in that movie is always doing that to everybody, and then at the end, fucking Brendan Fraser just dumps him into punch bowl or dumps him onto the floor and they pour punch on him, and then Brendan Fraser's Neanderthal character is like, Doosh! I think that's where. It wouldn't surprise me if that's where they got the idea. So I always thought that. I was like, this sounds like that asshole from Encino Man. So yeah, but yeah, Chad Gable's a great worker. That gimmick's really weird and it's kind of annoying, but it's over. You know what I mean? So you can't complain.
I mean, like, if it's working, it's working. God bless.
Yeah, I mean, good for you. It's better than Shorty G.
Oh my god, that was
stupid.
Especially he wasn't even that short. And I guess he still isn't that short.
No, that was a John Laurinaitis idea.
Oh god, that guy.
Fucking dumpster fire.
Just take a lozenge and go home.
A lozenge. Every time someone sees him, just hand him a package of Halls. They're just like, here, this one's like got honey and fucking like citrus. See if that works this time.
I love to picture he's at some business meeting or something with someone who doesn't know him, and as he starts talking, they go like, "Do you need a Ricola or something, man?"
All of a sudden, you just hear Ricola.
Because like, there's always that guy in the office who's like, "Oh, you've got a headache? I've got ibuprofen. I've got Tylenol.
I even have Anacin." What the fuck is Anacin? Oh god.
Oh my god. At where I work, they got like this big thing of ibuprofen, and it says on there, warning, not for households with children. Like, okay. I'm pretty sure households with children are the ones who are going to need this the most.
Yeah. I took a lot of those when I had young children crying and screaming. It should be like recommended by parents.
Right.
4 out of 5 parents recommend. It's kind of like kick cereal, but not kid tested. Kids test
no,
you.
no, do not do that.
Yeah, the kids test you, and you take it. Oh, that's a fucking stupid joke. Anyway,
So,
who we got?
getting back at number 9, we had Drew McIntyre, and I put in here we've only had one elimination so far.
The Miz.
Yep, that's it.
Which is, you know, like we're spending more time talking about this Rumble than the Rumble took. we're talking.
We're probably going to.
Yeah, 90 seconds.
Like until the very end when a great match broke out.
Right, and you know, like okay, so Chad Gable is in that ring, you know, and this pissed me off the whole Rumble, and I had a group of friends here and we were watching it. And we all were getting pissed because anytime something interesting happened, they would just cut the camera entrance, or they cut to something stupid, you know. And then we talked about it last night on Twitter about that long ass entrance ramp where they had to come down. Yeah. It took them about an hour and a half to get down there. By the time they got down there, fucking counter was started again. It's like, really? You're gonna do that?
If you have floor seats and you're at like the corner of that entrance, how do you see anything that's happening? Like maybe it's me and you can, but that just doesn't make sense.
I just don't understand why they didn't just do a straight line. You know, like the quickest. That's like fucking physics. Like the quickest way between 2 points is a straight line.
Right.
We'll get there. God, that was a stupid idea. And all the wrestlers that had to get there, trying to get down there, and they were all blown up like the Ultimate Warrior by the time they got there. You know.
Oh, you could tell the first guys started off kind of slow. Then we got further and further, and it was like, go, 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 go.
Well, yeah, they were trying to get down there so they could get all their fucking, you know, spots and stuff in that they were supposed to do. So they had no choice but to run all the way the fuck down there. But anyway, it cuts away at this one point where we see a legitimate amateur wrestling match between Chad Gable and Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, who actually both have legitimate backgrounds in collegiate wrestling. And they started having a really cool fucking match, and I was like, oh, this is really neat. We get wrestling for a fucking change. And then they cut away to some bullshit. I think the timer went off or something, and they're like, who is it? And I'm like, who gives a fuck? Go back to this really cool thing that's going on in the ring that we'd love to see. They need to have like if they were smart,
like a picture-in-picture gimmick.
Yes, or they could do a thing where they have alternate, like they could make a shit ton of money with views and stuff if they would do an alternate camera view. So like you watch the Rumble live and it's one way, but you have cameras everywhere else showing the actual, so you can watch it just the ring. You know what I mean? That would be cool.
That's a neat idea.
That would be fucking awesome. It's just a Rumble. Here's the ring, you know, and it can cut away to the eliminations, but that's it. And so then you get to watch it twice, and then it's actually you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna watch this again tomorrow with the alternate angles.
Right. I mean, here's how well that would work. I love amateur wrestling. I didn't even know that happened.
Oh, you didn't see that?
I definitely would have noted that.
Yeah, watch it again, because in the middle of the match it happens with Austin Creed or Xavier. I keep calling him his real name, but Xavier Woods and Chad Gable. They just start wrestling, and it's fucking cool. You know, I hadn't seen that shit since Kurt Angle. No one's seen that shit since fucking Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar were doing it in the back.
We're on a plane.
We're on a plane. You know, fuck me. Like, why would you cut? Then there were other spots. I can't remember the ones off the top of my head where they did that shit, where they cut away from it, where it was like Otis going out later. Like when Otis comes in, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, who comes in next?
Next is Santos Escobar. So we cut away for Santos Escobar.
The crowd goes mild because no one gives a shit.
And I put on here, I loved Santos Escobar as King Cuerno in Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
I loved him as El Fantasma in AAA.
Yeah.
I am not digging this. Like, I don't know what, but I'm just not into it as much.
The faction when they were in NXT was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was fine. You know?
There were a lot of parking lot abductions.
I got really excited when he came out to the ring, though, because he had the lucha mask. And I was like,
Yeah.
and I know that's his thing or whatever. It was like, dude, put the lucha mask on. Like, there should be a luchador that does that shit. Like, I know these things, right? Like, I fucking... the luchador comes out like one of the ones that's been demasked, you know? But, like,
Yes.
the only time he's allowed to gain his honor back is when he comes to the ring. So when he comes out, he's like this, and then he can't go to the ring, so he puts the mask on, and it's time to fucking rock. You know what I mean? That would be cool as shit. No,
It was a great match. I cannot for the life of me remember who his opponent was, but he had a mask versus mask match, and Vampiro was the one in charge of it. And he actually did this interview afterwards saying the problem with him was his name was El Hijo del Fantasma, and my apologies if I'm saying these words wrong.
No, that sounds right.
He just said he capped himself with that. So by taking the mask off, he can now be himself and get higher than he was, which sounded like a great idea until the main roster happened.
Yeah. And then they just do nothing with him. And they had that tag match for the tournament on SmackDown or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just didn't they get their asses handed to them, or did they win their match?
It was them against Top Dollar. Hit Row, right?
So they won that match.
Yeah.
Because Top Dollar didn't win that match. Because why the hell would he?
And Michael Cole made sure he knew it.
No.
Like, I love salty Michael Cole. That might be my new favorite Michael Cole.
Yeah. Michael Cole's great when he's like when he's just calling out bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, even though the office doesn't want him to, he's still just calling it out. He's channeling some Jim Ross, you know, like Jim Ross was when he was on Dynamite, and they were doing all their shit, like all the stupid shit that didn't make any sense on AEW, and he's just like, oh, who the hell knows what's happening? You know, they're like the wins and losses. He's like, does it even matter? And you know, just throwing out I don't know why.
Oh, still my favorite. I love Butcher Blade and Bunny, but when they debuted and Excalibur's going crazy doing his whole, it's the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, and JR's right next to him going, who? Who are these guys?
That's funny. That reminds me of the time in the 91, or it was in 1991. It was right before the 91 Rumble. They debuted Tony Atlas back in WWF as Saba Simba, right? Do you remember Saba Simba?
I did not know it was Tony Atlas, and I know I've heard the name, but I could not picture it.
So he's in the 91 Rumble, but like in his debut, like Vince McMahon and Roddy Piper are on commentary, right? And Vince is like, it's Saba Simba, you know, like he does. And Roddy Piper's sitting there like, no, it's not. That's Tony Atlas. And he's like, no, it's Saba Simba. And he's just out there going, he's like, no, that's Tony Atlas in a dress. Because he's wearing a loincloth. And he's like, no, that's Tony Atlas. And you can tell Vince is getting pissed because Piper's taking his shit all over this guy, all over Tony Atlas's new gimmick because it's fucking dumb, you know? They have Mr. USA Tony Atlas out there in a loincloth without any fucking shoes on, playing the role of like a Zulu
some
warrior.
Wild man.
It's a Zulu warrior, basically.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, not only is that probably incredibly racist, but it's great when Piper's so mad at the gimmick that he's just taking his shit on it while Vince is trying to like, Saba Simba. No, that's Tony Atlas. Look it up. Look up Saba Simba debut on YouTube if it's up, and listen to Roddy take a shit on it. It's one of the funniest goddamn things I ever watched in that era of wrestling, because we all knew it was fucking Tony Atlas, you know, like that was the era where Vince thought we were all stupid. It was fucking, I was 11 years old and I knew who it was. You know what I mean? I was like, we all know it's Tony fucking Atlas, dude.
Oh yeah. So
anyway,
next is the part I absolutely love, which was number 11. Anthony Dawkins comes out, who runs down so fast the camera didn't pick him up coming out of the entrance. The camera didn't pick him up running to the ring. The camera barely gets him when he's in the ring. And then Xavier Woods was eliminated by Gunther.
One of many eliminations by Gunther.
Yeah. And that was when Kofi tried the non-elimination by jumping on the chair, and the chair just did not cooperate with him.
Yeah, that had to have been a botched move. And it happens. Yeah. And it happens. It's not his fault. It happens, you know.
And Cole tried. Cole tried to save it with just, no, I think one foot stayed up, and everybody, no, it didn't.
I think that was I think that was McAfee who was doing that. Yeah, I think it was Pat McAfee. He's like, no, he's not eliminated. He's got his foot. There's only one foot right there. You know, just going crazy like McAfee does. And they're all trying to cover for him. At least they don't have Vince bitching in the microphone at him the whole time.
Oh, did you ever see that video of Michael Cole? He looks just defeated as a person. And he goes, well, how many more times do you want me to say it? I've said it like 14 times. Yes, sir. You're right, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Yes, sir. I will, sir. Yes.
I think I have seen that. That's amazing. God.
And you just feel bad, like he's trying to help and he's making some good points.
Well, it's like Mick Foley, like when he was doing commentary on SmackDown, he quit because he's like, I've never been talked to like that to. No one's ever talked to me like that before in my life, like on commentary. And I'm like, is that like Vince's like stress relief outlet, screaming at the fucking commentators during SmackDown? Like, is that his thing?
No, his stress relief was paralegals.
Nice.
I was talking to someone today just going, do you think they said, okay, Vince, the board voted that you shouldn't come back. We get you're coming back. You are not having a female assistant. There is not a goddamn way.
We're going to go so far as to not give you a female assistant. We're going to rehire. I don't know. I was getting ready to say Orlando Jordan, but that may not work out.
Like, we dug up Howard Finkel. We know it's...
We got this Weekend at Bernie's thing going. It's fine. It's fine.
And no, the person controlling him is not a woman. That is not allowed in this part of the building.
Vince probably is just...
Oh, that'd be great. Just to sign no women beyond this point for your own protection.
They probably just gave Vince an assistant and it was one of those real dolls. that he had make look like the paralegal that screamed at him. Tell me that may not be a possibility, because that sounds like something Vince would do.
There is a non-zero chance that has happened.
All right.
Next, we have the reason why the ring was filling up at this time. Number 12, Lesnar comes down and just proceeds to destroy everyone and everything.
Yep. And I knew that too. As soon as he came down, I was like, okay, well, here goes all these like lower mid-carders. They're all going to get thrown out. Yeah. I was just like, I'm like, who's the next cannon fodder? Like, who's going to be the next cannon fodder for Brock Lesnar? We all knew, it wasn't anything new.
The only one who came close. Yeah, the only one who came close to standing up to him was Sheamus and Drew, the Banger Bros, which don't Google that, kids.
Bad idea.
I love in the article where it says they found out it could allude to something else. Like, oh, did you find that out?
Like they were basically backpedaling on it. Like they were like, okay, we're not going to call them that. And then Pat McAfee just says, it's the Banger Brothers. I'm like, Pat McAfee should always be on commentary all the time.
Right. Pay that man whatever he wants. He's worth it.
Now, Pat McAfee, Mauro Ranallo would be interesting.
That would be a fun combo.
That would be a good, Triple H, if you're listening to this, which you're not, I know this. I understand where I sit in my place in this world. But if you do happen to listen to this, take that advice and pay both those guys whatever the fuck they want to commentate Monday Night Raw.
And think of the money you'll save on coffee. Those two are the most energetic people I've ever heard in my life.
You better get a sponsorship from fucking Monster Energy. So Brock comes
next
in
we
and
have
the
Bobby
next
Lashley.
course, which we all knew was going to happen. And the
And
crowd
of
kind of
course,
went
Lashley
mild
goes
when
straight.
when he came out. The crowd like didn't give a shit at that point.
I think because we know where it's going, we just kind of want to get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and he comes in and they like it doesn't even take that long. Like they're in, I think, for a little bit, but Lashley eventually tosses his ass out, and Brock has like the most amazing temper tantrum ever.
Which apparently was not all the way planned.
No.
Like I guess the ref he threw over the barricade was supposed to raise the hand of the winner, and they had to take him out because they're like, "You're done. Brock Lesnar just destroyed you. You can't be out there now."
Yeah. If you can, maybe
But
we
of course,
should
it's like,
put you in some tights.
but of course, it's like it's Brock Lesnar. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like, what? You send him home to go hunting? The poor guy.
So now, ultimately, we're going to be getting. So yeah, that leads in the next guy that comes out is Baron Corbin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Baron Corbin comes out, and everyone fucking hates Baron Corbin, which Baron Corbin's been annoying gimmicks. Like for the past 5 years, he's been given annoying gimmicks, and
they keep getting worse.
Yeah, because he was. You know what? I did like it when he was like down on his
The
luck.
lone wolf.
No, when he was
bum
like,
ass Corbin.
Yeah, when he was. Yeah, that was great, dude. That was like his best work he's ever done. Where
I
he
thought
was
it
like
was
all
hilarious.
upset like all the time, and he's like hadn't shaved and his hair was grown in, but he was balding a little bit. You know, so it was really fucking funny, and I loved watching that. It was great. And then they just didn't. It's like, oh, he went to the casinos with Riddick Moss or whatever. And that who
I
he
think
went.
he like found a token and he put it in. It wasn't even his token.
And then he's like, I won all this money. And then they're like, after a while, they're like, okay, well, let's put him with JBL for no fucking reason at all. Let's just do that. It'll be great. Okay, moving on.
Happily. So 15, we have Seth Rollins.
Okay, we can't move on because we have to talk about how Lesnar fucking beat the shit out of Corbin before he even got in the ring. It basically just decimated his ass, which was great. I loved that every second of that.
I'm fine with seeing that every time it happens.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, who was next?
Then Seth Rollins comes out, and he does this great move where he tells everybody, clear the way, picks up Corbin, throws him into the ring, and throws him right out.
That's great.
Which part of me loved seeing it. The other part of me is so jealous of the paycheck he got for that.
Oh, I know. Oh, Corbin?
Yes.
Just coming out, taking like an F5 or whatever he did, fucking get thrown in and tossed right back out and making like, what, $5,000 probably? 10 grand?
Right.
Jesus. So Seth Rollins is in there now. So we got one of the big hitters who, you know, who we know is probably not going to win, but has a good chance of being there till the end.
Yep. So. And so 16 comes out, Otis.
I love Otis so much, dude.
I wonder if Otis is subscribed to Mandy's fan page.
He probably is. Now she gives him a free subscription, so he probably is. She's like, look what I did. No, dude, that was Otis is I don't like him. I don't, like he's great, but I don't care for him as much now as I did before. Because
when he was the tag team,
yeah, well, not even with Tucker, but like when he was just doing his thing and with the Mandy Rose and all that, and he would walk in, yeah, like all that. That shit was great. And then when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase, it just fell out of the other guy's hands and landed in his hands, and he caught it. It was fucking wonderful.
Oh, and he tried to climb the ladder, but he was so big he broke the bottom rung.
I've been there, done that. I did that in my garage a couple months ago. I was carrying a 50-pound fucking bag or something, trying to walk up the steps to my attic. Stepped on the bottom rung and snapped. I was pissed.
Oh, dude.
Anyway, I love Otis.
Pairing number 17 and 18, Rey Mysterio's music hits, but he never comes out.
Yeah, like they didn't have anyone else that could have fucking taken that his place because they said he was injured.
Or even because they do this so much, I thought right away it would be a cut to the back and there's Rey's lifeless body doing this whole thing, covering his face because Dominic has the mask.
Yeah, that'd been fucking great. Why didn't they do that?
I don't know, like they cut away from the ring enough where it's just, hey, take 30 seconds to explain why he's not out there.
Yeah, instead of just an empty entrance.
Because there's part of me that really wants it to just be Rey was looking for his mask, couldn't find it because Dominic stole it, and he goes, "I'm not going out. I'm a luchador, and I will not be seen without my mask." Like,
right?
Fair play.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't do that. And but yeah, if they would have just shown him like beaten on the ground, it would have been fine. I was hoping they were going to have the first physical altercation. That's what I was hoping. That Dominic was going to come in first, and he was going to be a little sleaze bag like he is. And then you get like, kind of like with Royal Rumble 90, where Rick Martel was in the ring, and then like after a couple people, Tito Santana comes out, and there's some nasty heat there, you know, like kayfabe heat, but there's some heat there. So it'd have been cool if Dominic was being a sleaze bag, and like it was like even the next number, all of a sudden, well, it was going to take a couple because it's 90 seconds, so they don't have time, but the skips one, and then the next guy comes out when Dominic's doing something exceptionally sleazy, and then Rey comes out, and Rey just runs in there, and then they have that fucking. Of course, they do the and they get ready to do the first punch, and they'd cut to the fucking entranceway again.
Yeah. Because really, this 90 seconds is just not long enough.
No.
And I get you've got 2 rumbles, and it's got to take off like a solid 10, 20 minutes by the end of it, but it just feels like not much is set up.
Well, the thing is you can still build the way you're building with 2 minutes. You know what I mean? You can still build it just the same, just have those storylines going on in the middle of the Rumble, as opposed to the end where you're spending 20 minutes with the 2 last guys. You can have that going on, you know, or whatever. They just, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's never going to change, so I can't do anything about it but bitch. You know what I mean? And maybe one day they'll hear me bitch, and they'll be like, you know, that guy's got a good point. That fucking weirdo in the lucha mask knows what he's talking about.
Plus, bitching is one of the best parts of the day.
Right? And
like, I've never understood when you say, "Hey, how's it going?" Everybody, "Oh, can't complain." Like, really? I could give you like 10 things off the top of my head. You could wake me from a drunken stupor, I'll still give you 9. Credit to Bill Burr. I love that line.
If you're a fucking adult, you have something to bitch about. You know what I mean? Like, if you fucking breathe air and have to leave your fucking bed in the morning, you're something to bitch about. You know? Yeah. I just, one of these days, I would love to just go have a meeting with one of these fucking people that's in charge of this shit. Like, just run into Triple H just randomly one day and be like, "Listen, can I talk to you real quick? I have a couple of things that I need to share with you. First off, go back to team elimination matches for the Survivor Series. Every match needs to be a team elimination match. Second, fucking Royal Rumble, 2 minutes. 2 minutes." And then he'll be like, "Well, you know, what's your background?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, I graduated magna cum laude with my fucking master's in screenwriting for the entertainment industry. Fuck you, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not an idiot. I fucking have a TV show, for Christ's sake." I would love to just tell him that, and he'd be like, "Oh, well, what are you doing? We got room for a new writer." And I'd be like, "Oh, thank Christ, I can fix this." It's never going to happen, and that's just like, it's one of my little dreams one of these days, you know. But
it's fun to fantasize.
It's fun to pretend, like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
That's my neighborhood of make believe.
One thing I loved about Dominic was he couldn't get in the ring, because wherever he would go in the ring, Sheamus was right there and would just walk with him and block him the whole way.
Yeah.
Until finally he lets Dominic in and just ineffective punches thrown to Sheamus, and then immediately backed into a corner being beaten on.
Amazing.
Number 18 was Elias, and my thumb immediately did this.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even holding a remote. Just I hear Elias, and it's just a natural tick I have now.
I had to go take a 90-second piss. Well, Elias is here. Time to go. Got to go take a leak. No, yeah.
Number 20, we had Finn Balor.
Okay, and things started getting interesting because we got Judgment Day people coming out now. So naturally,
Except that Gargano throws Finn over the top rope, but is cut off by Dominic. Johnny Wrestling is thrown over the top by Finn. Balor and Dominic Mysterio eliminate Finn. No, Balor and Dominic eliminate Johnny.
yeah, and Jim Cornette is like, yes, about damn time. Yeah. See, they should have had Dexter Loomis out there with him. Like that would have been funny.
I'm still not even certain what their relationship is anymore. Like, I get in NXT, it was a funny, we were with Indy, now Indy's married, but if you're not doing that anymore, what does he do?
Yeah.
Other than put a hatchet through JBL's hat.
Yeah, that was kind of funny. That was funny. Anytime JBL has something bad happen to him, an angel gets his wings. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, moving on. What's next?
So 21, we had Booker T, who I put as our first surprise entrant of the match.
Yes.
And he looks absolutely jacked out of his mind and bigger than just about everyone else in the ring.
Yeah, I know, right?
So whatever supplements he's taking in retirement, they're working.
He's taking those magical fruit pills you see on the commercials on Fox News.
And so Booker comes in, kick, spinaroonie, eliminated by Gunther.
At least he got his Royal Rumble spinaroonie.
He did.
That's the only reason.
And it's amazing how everyone is fighting in the corners just long enough for him to hit that.
It's almost as if it was planned. No.
Almost.
No, almost hasn't come in yet. That's later.
Oh God, him.
Almost.
Yes. Yeah. He's happening.
It's really funny when I was listening to Cornette the other day. Like he had said that, and I'm like, "Oh, motherfucker, that's my joke. I've been saying that for like months. I've been calling him that since he showed up." Almost. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Okay.
So number 22. Jesus. We had Damian Priest, which means now all of Judgment Day is complete in the ring.
Yep. And then the one thing that always fucking happens every goddamn year happens shortly after this. Every fucking year, the same thing. So who's next?
Number 23, we had Montez Ford.
Okay, well, yeah.
And 24, we had Edge, and I would count that as our second surprise because I didn't hear he was ready to come back yet.
Yeah, I figured he was going to be there. I told you they'd probably end up having something like that, Edge and the Judgment Day, because I had called Beth Phoenix and Rhea, and that happened. I thought the Rhea and Beth Phoenix were going to enter the Men's Rumble because Beth Phoenix has been in a Men's Rumble before anyway. And was Rhea in a Men's Rumble before?
I want to say yes, but I'm also not certain.
Okay. Anyway, I wanted them to both enter the
I have
Rumble.
to say no because Nia Jax is the only one who's been in both a men's and women's at the same time or on the same day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that
what
later.
They did on the stage, I'm not even sure what it's setting up. Because, okay, Rhea comes out, she's doing her thing, Beth spears Rhea, and then just leaves her alone for the rest of the night. And even on Raw, Rhea is challenging someone not named Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
So what did we set up with this?
They're probably going to do the Beth Phoenix thing at Elimination Chamber. Yeah. Just like a grudge match thing, you know? And
we've got a date between now and then.
Right. And then let's see. So yeah, that whole skirmish happens outside of the ring with Edge and Finn Balor and Rhea and Beth Phoenix, like, just happened in the wrong part of the arena than what I thought. So, okay, so who comes in next?
25 is Austin Hypothesis.
I'm glad you said that. It's going to catch on. There's an evolution to Austin Hypothesis. He's Austin Hypothesis right now. And then he's Austin Theory. And then he's Austin Theorem. That's a classy joke. No.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
You're welcome. But yeah, he comes in and I'm just like, fuck this guy. I hate this guy. Gross.
And number 26 was Almost, who came out with MVP.
Oh yeah, almost mattered.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure I've said this before, but I would be perfectly fine with Almost if he had the Satnam Singh treatment of, like, just stand there. Just be big there.
Yes.
Because you moving and doing stuff isn't working.
He's just not a good worker. He's so boring.
Yeah.
He's slow. He's not even... Dude, the great Khali can do more than you. There's a problem. You know what I mean? I would love, that's going to be the next Saudi match. You know that. It's going to be the great Khali and Almost.
Oh my God.
And Braun
Don't speak that
Strowman.
into existence, sir.
And Braun Strowman in a triple threat.
Wow, we're counting on Strowman to carry the three-way. That's going to be a problem.
And then we get Sean Davari for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason in Saudi Arabia.
We got Ricochet out there, so they've got to have no, it's Ranjan Singh who comes out, and so Ricochet can like kick him or something. I don't know. That's dumb. I don't know. Fuck Almost. I hate that. He sucks. No offense, Almost.
Well, luckily we had number 27, Braun Strowman, next, which Michael Cole flat out says he's having flashbacks to Crown Jewel, and I apologize, you're going through PTSD, Michael.
I know we all are. God damn it. So
Strowman just eliminates Almost. Like, that was it.
Yeah, strong man comes out and eliminates Almost. And he's running around.
And maybe it's just me, but Braun looked way better before he trimmed down and he was actually big.
Yeah.
Like, now he's just tall.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was like beefier, like he looked like a threat. Like he looked like the kind of guy that you don't want to piss off in a biker bar. Now he looks like the bully in the gym. You know what I mean? Okay.
I always loved that he was this swamp man, but he had a Superman tattoo, and on his arm,
Country Strong.
Tattoo of Tennessee that says Country Strong.
It's North Carolina, I think. I think it's North Carolina. Is his tattoo?
Okay.
I think it doesn't matter, but yeah, Country Strong. I'm surprised he didn't have tattoos with like Confederate flag all over him too.
Oh, thank God he didn't.
Yeah, I know that would have been bad for his career.
That was apparently another thing that whoever the executive at AEW or TBS was, the Briscoes used to have Confederate flags on their gear. Like, okay, but they don't.
Yeah, they don't now.
Like, you're really fishing for stuff now.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, so like if the Big Boss Man was alive, would you let him on your fucking show? Because his fucking cop uniform, like all cop uniforms in the South at the time, had a Confederate flag on the side of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Are you going to be like, no, fuck the Big Boss Man? You know? Yeah, that's reaching. That's stupid as hell.
And even, there are plenty of ways you can make that argument. That's not one of them, though.
No. Especially if they're not like doing horrible cringe things.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a whole different conversation for a whole different type of podcast.
It totally is. With that being said, number 28 was Ricochet, which we are just going to ricochet right off that topic.
And yeah, and he's in there and he's doing flippy things and running around, which is cool. Whatever, that's what Ricochet does.
Yeah. And this is when Braun got tied up in the ropes. Drew and Sheamus do the double, the 10 bangs of the Balor or some whatever they call it, where he just hits him
the 10 bangs of the brother.
It was so weird of just the Banger Bros are banging like, okay. Like, if they must.
That tag team sucks, dude. Like, they always throw Sheamus
I feel like
in
the tag team would be fine if it wasn't so badly done.
Yeah, they're both awesome workers, man, but I just don't give a shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
and I definitely think I would love to see this. I would love to see them go their separate ways. Sheamus challenge Gunther and win the Intercontinental title at Mania, and Gunther can be free to pursue the World Championship.
That would be cool as shit.
They could even have something where Drew wins the Intercontinental title, or no, Sheamus wins the Intercontinental title, and then Drew chases him. Even do a friendly, like, hey man, I love you, but I love that title more, and I love to fight.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, let's do a best of 7 because that's popular again. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know who the next guy that comes in is.
Do you?
Yeah.
Who might it be?
Oh, I don't know. It might be that no talent ass clown from YouTube who thinks wants to play wrestler, who shouldn't be in the WWE because he is like the biggest spot monkey I've ever seen in my life, and he needs to be like with other people that like to do that in AEW. And I'm not knocking AEW. AEW is it's what it is. They have a lot of guys in there that like to do the spots. Like it's that whole thing is, aside from a few workers, it's all spots. That's where, and if you're into that, that's cool. Whatever. I'm not. Logan Paul should be over there where he can do all this stupid ass shit. And speaking of spots, the coolest looking, dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was.
So Ricochet goes over the ropes on one side after a bunch of shit's going down. Ricochet's over outside the ropes on one side of the ring, and the complete opposite side of the ring, fucking Bumblebee from Transformers is over there on that side of the ring. And I'm talking about Logan Paul because his fucking outfit's stupid looking. Every time he comes to the ring, I just want his music to be like Autobots roll out, like every time. And so both of them get on the top rope and they jump. Like I said, it was impressive as hell. Yeah, exactly. It was impressive that they could do that, to jump that far and connect like that. I'm not surprised Ricochet could do it. The guy weighs like 40 pounds sopping wet. You know what I mean? Like, he can projectile himself off of anything. He's like Ricochet from Mucha Lucha. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
oh God, that was a fun show.
It was a great show. And Rey Mysterio has a new cartoon coming out too on Cartoon Network.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know where it is, but
I just got a copy of Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. I'm so excited to watch that this weekend.
Yeah, that's on Troma Now, by the way. Also, where you can find my show, Fantastico Disaster Piece Theater. The whole
and you should.
Yeah, it's a good show. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, they do this whole thing. Both of them are here. Boom. So you remember in Royal Rumble 90 when Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior clothesline each other and fall down like a couple of morons? That's what happened here, except for let's add
it was in the air.
It's in the air, and yeah, let's do this impact thing where there's no guarantee you're gonna take that bump the right way. Because I know both of these motherfuckers aren't physicists, so they aren't gonna know like exactly the velocity and the speed of each other are moving at what distance. Although they did a pretty good job meeting there, but that bump was incredibly stupid to try to take, and they're lucky they fucking landed properly.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on it, coming from a guy who's been in a ring and who's like bounced off the ropes and shit. Like it's a very unpredictable, stupid fucking bump to take. It looked like $1 million because they were lucky enough to get it right.
I'm also so lost. What if the other guy hit his move perfectly? What was supposed to happen? He hits him over the top rope and they both fall out?
Yeah, it was just like fucking. I don't know. It was neat to see, and it was goddamn impressive that they got it to work. But I'm sitting there the whole time I'm watching this. I'm just cringing. Like, I saw it in slow motion as it was happening. I'm like, oh god damn it! Like, they're gonna do this. One of those motherfuckers is gonna fucking land wrong and fuck up his shoulder, from this, or one of them's gonna fucking land wrong and snap their goddamn neck.
And thank whatever deity you believe in, it didn't happen.
I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad they're both fine, but don't take bumps like that. Anyone who's listening to this as an inspiring wrestler and watch that and they're like, oh, Logan Paul's so cool for doing those moves. Yeah, fucking don't. Okay? Be smart. No fucking trainer in their right goddamn mind is going to tell you to take bumps like that. Okay?
And Matt Hardy has an interview saying, I really wish I took it slower. Like, you think?
Yeah.
And at number 30,
you went kind of silent there for a second. Gotta let your internet latency catch up with you for a minute.
Okay.
There you go. All right.
So at number 30, we had Cody, which in my opinion, he should have been 27, 28, something like that. And I'm betting that, like you said, if they had done that, they would have booed the hell out of Sami Zayn not being in the Rumble.
Oh, fuck yes. Yep. That's why I was pissed off at the Rumble, because I'm like, this is bullshit. Everybody wanted to see Sami Zayn win the Rumble. And
you could easily do a workaround.
Yeah.
Like, just have Sami and Roman in the back. Sami does the whole, like, all right, I'm going to go get my nut. I'm really excited. And Roman grabbed him like, what do you mean? You're not in the Rumble. You're with me tonight, kid. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Or like, say, like, he's in the Rumble and Solo's in the Rumble too, and he's getting like double teamed by fucking Sheamus and McIntyre. And so
none of the bloodline were in the Rumble.
None. And Sami Zayn's like, oh, I gotta go out there and help Solo, and he goes out there and he accidentally fucking bumps him out. You know what I mean? That'd been great. We'll get into the bloodline here in a little bit. And then so we have a good fight going between these final guys. So like at the end we have Gunther, we have Seth Rollins, we have Cody Rhodes, and we have Logan douchebag.
Yeah. Okay. Who I did love the spot. It's Cody and Seth against Gunther, because Logan was on the floor, and credit to him on this one, I totally forgot he was still in it.
Yeah.
As I think the announcers did.
Yeah.
And Seth hits a pedigree on Gunther. Cody basically does a Mia Hamm, anything you can do, I can do better. And he hits one.
Mia Hamm.
And then this is going back and forth until Logan eliminates Seth Rollins.
Yes. And then in the crowd, because Seth is still over, man, big time. Do you hear the boos fucking Logan Paul got when that happened? Like, it was a wave of like almost 20,000 voices. It was like when Alderaan blew up. The voices all screamed out, except for they didn't stop. They kept on booing Logan Paul, which pisses me off, because it's like, God damn it, he's over. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. I was like, he fucking, now we're gonna have to see him more. Like, I gotta give the guy credit, man. He's getting himself over. Fucking hate him.
And say what you will about wrestling fans, they love to chant and sing. Like, if you have a catchy theme song, they're in.
Yeah, like Seth Rollins. I'm assuming.
And if you're smart enough to,
yeah, if you can conduct or at least try to conduct or have ever seen a fucking conductor. Like it's not, yeah. Oh,
Like,
God.
Now that's what Bugs Bunny did. That's not what any of the great conductors actually did.
So, all right. So Logan
So Cody
douchebag.
hits Logan with.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Cody hits Logan with the crossroads, and that leads to our elimination of Logan.
Yeah, and I was very happy.
And then we go on to have like a solid 12-minute match between Walter and Cody, where the whole time Walter is just laying in the chops to Cody's very surgically repaired pec.
Yeah, like that was. That's why do they chance that like soon? Like, why do they got to go out of their way to be like, look at me, I am better. So you watch, I'm gonna let him hit me a bunch.
I could even see he hits like one or two, but the whole story is he's avoiding getting hit by the chop.
Yeah.
Like, I would think that would make more sense.
I don't know. Like that, I wouldn't. I don't know. Whatever. There's a reason why I'm not in there.
Yeah. And we have kind of and this is a taboo name, but we have kind of a Chris Benoit win where Cody's pulling. So Gunther gets Cody with the sleeper hold, and Cody just kind of pulls him over until finally Gunther is eliminated.
Yes. And it was, we all knew it was going to happen. I was hoping to Christ that Gunther was going to go. I was really hoping at that point Gunther was going to fucking win. I knew it was going to happen, but in my head I was like, God, please let Gunther win. It's nothing against Cody. It's just that when the Rumble's fucking too predictable, it pisses me off. So I didn't want him to win just based on that. If they would have not announced him prior to, and he was a surprise entrant, it still would have been a little annoying, but I wouldn't have been as pissed off about it. Because I'm like, okay.
Like
whatever.
they did with John Cena when he came back and the roof of Madison Square Garden came off.
Yeah, or like they do every fucking year with Edge after he comes back from like whatever 1,000 injuries he gets a year.
Yeah.
You know? Like that year where he came back and won it. Like, I was like, ugh. I was like, God damn it.
Wasn't that 2019?
Probably. I don't know, man. It's after... I'd say
he's had a few surprise returns.
After like 98, I don't remember who wins on each year. Like,
I don't either. Like, I barely remember what WrestleMania number we're on.
Like, I think that it was it 2003, 2004 that Chris Benoit won?
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember I was in the military when that happened. Like, I remember because I watched WrestleMania in England. So I had to stay up like super late to watch it, or it started super. Yeah, it was like 7:00 our time, and it was like it started at midnight, like over there or some shit. Kind of like a couple years ago with WrestleMania, the one you were at that like you were exhausted afterwards.
Oh my God, it was a chore.
Oof, yeah, I've heard so
it got to the point. My friends and I have all agreed if we ever go to Mania again, we're going to go to all the shows around Mania. We're watching Mania in the hotel. Like, there's no way I can bring myself to sit through that again.
Maybe Mania next year will be closer to me so I can go. Or somewhere I've been before where I'm comfortable being. So...
And next we had, I was going to get the Mountain Dew Pitch Black for this, but I hated the match so much I couldn't bring myself to monetarily support them for that.
It was the fucking Mountain Dew Pitch Black Ecstasy match. Because I felt like I was at a fucking, like, not even a good rave. That's the sad part, right? Like the whole time, like. And it wasn't even, it was like a rave where you're like, all right, sweet, I'm going to hook up with someone and it's going to be great and it's going to be cool. And I'm going to see these colors and take these really good drugs. And like someone gives you a pill and it's like, it's not ecstasy. It's like fucking Tylenol.
Yeah.
And you don't even, and so you're stuck there with some Tylenol hanging out with a bunch of dumbasses that you don't want to be around, and you keep hearing the same beat for like 35 fucking years. You know, that match was fucking terrible.
It was awful. It was awful as a match. It was awful as a concept. I don't know who put this together and said, nailed it.
Who's the head of marketing at WWE right now?
Didn't he just quit?
I
think one of the higher ups just walked off, but I have no idea. I wouldn't have even known if he didn't.
Well, whoever was the head of marketing at WWE is responsible for that goddamn shit, because they're the ones who made the deal with fucking Mountain Dew, and then they took that up to, like I said, every day, I think Vince is in charge of creative again. And they're just not fucking telling everybody. I think he's at least got his fingers in it. I just think he's in charge, and they're just not telling anyone.
Yep.
Because all the decisions that have been made, minus the bloodline stuff, has been very Vince. Like, it seems very Vince. So I think Triple H might just be in there to be like the fucking face of it,
a figurehead.
But he's not doing anything, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was like LA Knight wore glowing trunks. Bray Wyatt had glowing paint on his face. They go to the outside. A kendo stick is involved.
Your cat's hilarious. Cat's like, show me attention. She will be heard, Dad.
She will be heard.
Attention. Oh,
she's a millennial. I need to acknowledge her. Oh, that was wrong. I'm sorry. No, I even fall in that category. I'm sorry.
It didn't hurt my feelings. I didn't fall into that category. I'm a generation Xer. I don't give a shit about anything. I'm just angsty. That's why I'm so mad at the Royal Rumble.
And at this match.
Oh God. Yeah, we sitting back here watching it, and we're just like, what the fuck is all this? Like and it's like you always say.
I don't even know what they were going for.
I don't know. Like, there was no Mountain Dew involved in the match, was there?
Other than the symbol in the middle of the ring.
Did anyone drink any Mountain Dew during the middle of the match?
I don't even think there was. Usually the announcers have like a bottle set in front of them. Yeah. And I don't even think they had that.
The only Mountain Dew.
They apparently had glow in the dark confetti under them.
No, I was telling you yesterday, that's leftover Gold Dust Sparkle from like the 2004 Rumble. Or 2002 Rumble, or whatever it is, when Goldust made his return with Val Venus and all those guys.
I think I've mentioned this before, but still one of my favorite announcing moments with Mountain Dew. They've got a bottle in front of everybody, clearly not touched or opened. And this is after Jerry Lawler had his heart attack. And Jerry Lawler's is open with some take, and he's taking a sip. And Michael Cole just, should you be drinking that? Probably not.
So yeah, the Mountain Dew thing. Like, the only time I saw anyone drink one was at the little stupid media scrum at the end, where Cody Rhodes clearly doesn't like it. And he's like, I haven't had sugar in 3 months, and I'm going to open this up. And he's like, and you could like see his face like eye twitch. And he's like, oh, this is good. I was like, God, you can't act yourself out of a wet paper bag, bro.
I loved at the press conference. I don't remember her name, but this reporter goes to ask a question, and Cody just goes, "Why are you so loud?"
Oh, it was Denise Salcedo.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. It was really funny.
I put on her Twitter timeline, just, you need to sell a shirt that just says I'm kind of loud.
Apparently she was wearing her headphones when she started talking, and it was basically shouting. Fucking amazing. She's such a nice person. Yeah. So anyway, they had
So they have the match, and then Bray Wyatt puts on another mask, which I guess makes him immune to pain. Which, if that's the case, I would start off with that next time, buddy.
yes, and I think and I think some people have said this to us, or we've said it, but I think maybe Vince might have been right about fucking Bray Wyatt. But is this Bray though? That's the thing. Is this Bray doing this, or is this bullshit being fed to him from creative because they're too busy worrying about the bloodline, so they're just going real mid with everything else, you know, as the kids say.
I would kind of love to know how he is pitching this to everybody. Like, is he somehow making this make sense?
Yeah, did he like talk to Mountain Dew himself and is like, because I'm pretty good, like, you know what, I've had pitch black Mountain Dew and it doesn't look like it's not like neon and glowing in the dark. I don't know where they got that idea from. And I'm sorry, but if your beverage that you put out glows in the dark, we probably shouldn't be drinking it. just saying. But yeah, so that match ended and they're back and forth and no one gives a shit and the crowd's dead. And you can see people in the background walking around going to get stuff because they don't give a shit. And
LA Knight rolls onto what is clearly a crash pad.
Yeah.
Bray stands over him. Uncle Howdy appears above him, then falls. Notice I didn't say jumped onto LA Knight.
He did a coffin drop.
Falls close to Knight.
Yeah, he basically did a coffin drop. But not as cool.
The flames of hell raise.
Yeah, I don't get any of that.
That was it.
Yeah, no, it was just over. There was no build. There was no ring psychology. There was nothing. It was just, we're going to do this match because Mountain Dew gave us money. Which, okay, I get it from a marketing standpoint, but you could have had anybody in that fucking match and it would have been fine. You know, fucking that would have been a perfect match to bring Naomi back since she's wearing all that like blacklight shit anyway. You know,
that's actually what I was thinking. This is the Naomi specialty.
Yeah, why didn't they do that? Like, they could have thrown some money at her and had her come back. You know, what's she doing?
I honestly feel bad for her. Like, she seems to have gotten the real short end of that whole Sasha Naomi walkout thing.
And she's probably just living off of the Uso money.
Which, God bless her if she's happy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There were a lot of things going on at the Rumble that should have happened, and we thought were going to happen that didn't. And so now the D Snyder looks really good, falling off of that mat. Okay, so for the listeners, I call him that, and I've called him that before because there's a movie that came out in the late '90s called Strangeland, and it starred D Snyder, and he played this guy named Captain Howdy, who was he like a sadomasochist, and he was hanging people on hooks and weird shit. So that's why I call Uncle Howdy Captain Howdy, because it's too fucking easy not to. And if I don't, I'll kick my own ass for not making the joke. So now that travesty's over, we get brought in with another fun travesty. Bianca Belair.
Alexa versus Bianca.
Yes. The match lacked any kind of heart or psychology.
This match would have been perfectly at home on Raw or SmackDown to bring the crowd down.
Yes, and the whole thing they were trying to do was they were talking about building the whole fucking Captain Howdy thing. You know, and then Captain Howdy doesn't even really show up. It's just a fucking television moniker thing that pops up on the monitor.
And if you're going to do that, why wouldn't you do that match first? Because I'm looking at you going, he's dead now. Like, he just dove off and hell swallowed both him and LA Knight.
Everyone's looking at the newspaper reports to see if there's an obituary for Bo Dallas.
Not that dead. Not that way.
Fucking just get to the fucking point already with this goddamn Bray Wyatt storyline. Get to the point.
I'm pretty sure if I timed out how long they've had on television, it's longer than most movies. It has to be.
You know what? for that Mountain Dew, like pitch black match we were talking about before. They should have done Mountain Dew Spark, right? They could have just electrocuted each other for 10 minutes. That would have been more entertaining. Just cattle prods.
Why not?
And it's fucking refereed by fucking Jacques Rougeau in his Mountie get up with a shock stick with the cattle prod, and like, yeah, that's what they're gonna need to do next time.
That's how they find Bray Wyatt's next opponent. It's just, you're gonna do it. Go, go, go.
So the Wyatt Six is just different flavors of Mountain Dew. Oh, this week it was pitch black. Next week it's gonna be what was the angry apple or whatever the fuck that one is. Or the next one's gonna be the gingerbread one, and then fucking Kane comes out dressed up like a Christmas tree. Oh shit!
Oh, that's great.
Oh god damn it! Oh, so anyway, back to other things.
So yeah, the match happened. I put Alexa Bliss looks up at a spooky video of a playground, and it was giving me Freddy Krueger vibes, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, is this one of those, you seem really into kids, and that whole gimmick didn't work out well for Dustin when he was 7. Not 7 the age, 7 the person. God damn, that was...
I remember when 7 debuted, and then he pulled a Roddy Piper and shit all over his own gimmick as soon as he got in the ring. Dustin Rhodes comes into the ring and he's like, this isn't 7, this is Tony Atlas.
I love the Vince Russo interviews where he goes, yeah, we decided to scrap it and we told him to go out and shoot on it. Like, you aired those, dude. Those are creepy.
Yeah, they were, they were creepy. And then he just comes out and he just takes his shit all over his own gimmick for no fucking reason.
And he was right. He looked just like Uncle Fester.
He did. He looked like Uncle Fester in Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness coat.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like. At that point, Dustin Rhodes probably didn't know where he was because he wasn't in a very good place at that point in his career or in his life at that point.
Oh, still the worst had to be in TNA.
Yeah, well,
like
I'm glad
he was Black Rain. Oh
yeah, that's right. He was. I forgot all about that. I think most of us did.
And it's so weird because TNA... I don't forget trauma like that. It's right up there with watching so many TV shows nowadays. Like, half the TV shows I watch, like, no, I love this as a kid, and I want to see how they abuse my favorite. Like, I sat through Velma the whole time just going, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did this to my kid.
God. Yeah. We won't even get into that because that show just pisses me off. It's like angry.
And I love the idea. Oh, we greenlit season 2 because people are hate watching it. Like, that's not good.
We renewed it because everyone fucking hates it. Fucking hashtag.
And the word hate is involved in the description.
Fucking hashtag heel move. Oh, piss.
Like, all right, HBO, you earned it. You're the heel.
Yeah. All right, so now